Okay, we're a little early, like a minute. We've been sitting backstage here, and I said, man, I mean, we got some heat and energy backstage because we're talking about the absolutely disgusting murder of this young Ukrainian girl that was in where did this thing? Charlottesville, North Carolina.
Yep.
Apparently, I just read something where the mayor or the governor of North Carolina makes more money than the president of the United States. Like for that job, they're paying him more. Like it's just nuts. Everything, the world's nuts. I would say, Blake, my cautionary note, and we're mentioning this, so it's a little repeat for the public, but we do what we do. Is I'd say we're being gaslit like you can't fricking believe. Let's get me again. I'm going to kill me a whitey. Reverse the thing. Anger at black crime and stuff, and people are talking about Indian fatigue, East Indian fatigue. Because it's constant. Oh, here's another clip of them doing something. Whether it's shitting in a restaurant or killing fish out of the salmon spawn, the salmon run. Free fish. Let's just nobody has lived here. Oh shit, the stuff we got here today is just unbelievable. So anyway, this girl's on a subway train in North Carolina, Charlottesville. Is that in South Carolina, North Carolina? Somebody tell me. I'm in Canada, by the way, but it's just horrific. This guy sitting behind her gets up and starts knifing her. They've now released after footage. The guy goes away and he goes, "I got me a white girl," or something like this. That's, there goes that white girl, or, it's clearly not good. The optics are absolutely black as night, pardon the pun. And so it's kind of a narrative. It's a story. It's a thing that nobody talks about, especially people on the white side of the racial divide. Thank you, Sean. North Carolina, ladies and gentlemen, Charlottesville, North Carolinaville. It's Charlotte, not Charlottesville. It's Charlotte. Okay, There you go. That's probably where I was getting confused, right? So anyway, holy shit. When 9/11 happened, I was gaslit there. Go get them. Revenge, right? I saw the airlines hit. There was no way that was fake. That was real. I was pissed off. And I wanted revenge fast and hit them hard back, you bastards. And then when the Hamas went into Israel, the October 7th, is it October 7th, October 17th?
2023,
and they're hang gliding in, and then the film is there with the little kids dead on the street. That I still remember the first person camera angle opening a door on a van, a white van, beautiful white, covered in red because there's blood all over the fucking thing. And you got this woman, blonde-haired woman, slumped over dead, kids in a sleep. And I'm just like, I was lit up then, but it was, once bitten, twice shy. I held myself back. I say, wait a sec, are you getting gaslit here? So I want to be really mindful of the fact that of racial tones with this whole situation. But here's the issue. What's different about this frickin' thing is ABC, MSNBC, CBS, CTV, CBC, BBC, Australia, whatever.
Local news, even local.
No, but what, local Charlotte?
Nothing.
News?
There was nothing on the local TV stations.
For fuck's sake. So they did a complete whiteout. There, I could say blackout. But, it's just crazy. Whiteys will eventually respond, and it will likely be extreme, hopefully. Well, we don't want that. That's the whole thing. Humans are humans are humans are humans. Our people are people are people. You don't hate anybody for the color of their skin. God made everybody.
Amen.
Chinese people, black people, Eskimos, Inuit, if you want to be politically correct. Indians of all stripes and colors and shades. Okay, God made the human species. We can intermate, intermate, is that what? We can mate with one another regardless of species. We're one species, one people. We get all that. But for whatever reason, disadvantaged economically, whatever the case may be, the black people are out of proportionately represented in violent crime over and above other races. And that statistics, it's all over. You can go anywhere and you'll see it. And, so there needs to be something done to correct this. This, I feel, is a lightning jar moment. This is a low watermark. The president's talking about it. The last two posts from the head of the FBI, do you want to go to just go Kash Patel's account on X and read his last two posts. They both concern this incident. And it gives you an idea how serious this is, what it's doing. And I think we're all fatigued with it. We're sick and tired. How often do we see these violent situations, schoolrooms, some kid getting pounded by a group, and on the social media, and social media is part of the problem here because I don't think it's representative, but it's blown out of perspective. But it is problematic, right? That you're seeing these black kids beating the crap out of people. Okay. Yeah. So this is Kash Patel's account. The blue, I'll let Sue read it. People like Sue's voice. Sorry, are you ready or do you want me to do it?
The brutal attack on Irina Zarutska was a disgraceful act that should never happen in America. The FBI immediately surged into action to ensure justice is served and to make clear that violent criminals will never be allowed to walk free again. President Trump is committed to restoring safety for every American city. And I want to thank AG Pam Bondi for delivering the federal charges that will hold this perpetrator accountable.
Okay, there's that one. Now, there should be one above it, or one, is that the first one on his feed? Like if you go to Kash's page, go right there, click on that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, scroll down. Yeah, there you go. Pam Bondi, first post. And he's pinned the thing, right?
Yeah, Irina Zarutska was a young woman living the American dream. Her horrific murder is a direct result of failed soft on crime policies that put criminals before innocent people. I've redirected my attorneys to federally prosecute DeCarlos Brown Jr., a repeat violent offender with a history of violent crime, for murder. We will seek the maximum penalty for this unforgivable crime. He will never again see the light of day as a free man. And that's how you have to deal with those kind of crimes.
And then the FBI Director Kash Patel, again, the brutal attack, which you just read. Yeah. So the top two posts on his feed concern this thing. Now, a brief commercial break on behalf of 40 something to hell. The world is going to hell in a handbasket. It's just absolutely going crazy. In other words, I cannot see, whoa, that's not the one. This one. Okay, if currently you don't see UK viewers, know that UK YouTube has spiked an outage since 5 p.m. UK time today. No videos are playing, only the chat scrolls.
Oh.
In other words, I can't see the program. All I see in the video screen is an egg timer, and I just know, no, it's not, because Rachel's cooking eggs. Crazy. Yeah, I'll write. Tell him in the thing, because he can't tell what's going on. Just tell him we hear you, we see your comment. It's nuts. Okay, Blake. So, death penalty. I think the death penalty without question needs to be applied here. Boy, oh boy, man.
Check who's not covering this incredibly huge story.
Okay, yeah. Sue's got a link before. One more link, and then we'll go to Blake. I'm sorry, Blake. Yeah. I just want.
No problem. No.
Okay, here's a list of the news networks that have not covered the death of Irina Zarutska. Yeah, Zarutska, whatever. New York Times, CNN, Washington Post, MSNBC, NPR, USA Today, Reuters, Axios, ABC News, PBS, and every single one of them wrote stories on Daniel Penny. Do you not get it yet? Okay, so yeah, there's been an absolute blackout. They're trying to bury it, but it won't be buried. This is a pressure cooker. Blake, take it away.
I don't know what I can say other than what you've said already.
Wow.
I mean, it's just it's not just so fact that the point of the whole situation is outrageous. It was clearly a racial attack. The guy has said it. He got himself a white girl.
Yeah.
And, the point is that the fact that the media has been covering this up, that's the only way you can explain it. It's not, some people I've seen argued, well, it was selective. They chose not to do it because it doesn't fit the narrative. No, This is more of cover up. And why would that be the case? Because again, maybe it doesn't fit a certain narrative, but the point is that we've been under attack, and I'm saying we, those of the white color persuasion, have been called the baddies now for a long time within the liberal establishment, mainly by white liberals, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. They condemn their own race, that we're the problem of genocide in the world. We're the problem of different minorities and different peoples of colors, struggles they've gone through. And it's all falls on the heads of white people, including slavery and, the entire universe of history on planet Earth, I guess, has all been white people's fault. And that's kind of their viewpoint. And since many of them have infiltrated through journalist school and all that, these very liberal ideas. I mean, this stuff was talked about in the 1990s.
Yeah.
Rush Limbaugh was the guy that they targeted because he was one of the first voices that I ever heard that went against the establishment media, which was primarily became liberal. And, he would talk about this even then, back in the early 1990s, about how the media you'd call it the drive-by media, right? They would come by and take shots at a specific group of people they want to take down, and that's the way they would do it. But in this case, this is just, I wouldn't even call it, I don't know if there's a word that covers it. Malpractice in medical terms. As a journalist, you should be covering this story. Why wouldn't this be a point of interest?
It just feels.
And the others.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the other side of the story is that the liberals are again engulfed in the idea of hate crime, right? Hate crime is a thought crime, right? So, I always view crime as always hate, right? There's something going on. Doesn't matter if you steal something from somebody. By doing that, you're hating, and you've got a problem with hate overall in the world. Your worldview's got hate. Doesn't matter if it's color or whatever it is. Every person that you convert into a victim, you hate them. There's no love in your heart for them because you're taking something from them. If you're a thief, a murderer, a guy beating somebody up, or whatever it might be, just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
And I think, again, it doesn't fit the narrative of what they're trying to do, which is, I think, comes down to one thing. It's in concert. As you say, talk about the gaslight. But the gaslight, I think, is even more worse than this. And again, here, tinfoil hats going on. We go back to WEF statements. We're going to make an angrier world. That was Klaus Schwab saying that. We're heading into that. This is a controlled system. They're trying to turn people against people. They're trying to tear down the dominant culture, primarily Caucasians from European descent in the Western world. And they're trying to break it down, the whole Western civilization, by doing that, by making you feel you don't fit in. So they don't care. So that's why they'll just let everybody out on the streets, criminals run free. This is a plan to tear down our sound and just society, to throw it out the window, right? And I think this is what it does. And then it creates people against people. But what you talked about off stage before we went live here is the other part that's is just terrible, is the lack of empathy or caring of people just even around it. You saw the whole train didn't do anything to help her. Like that video you're seeing her, she's clearly been stabbed. They saw it. The first thing they think about is themselves. Like, this girl's bleeding. Does somebody not want to go and try and help her? No, they just kind of ignore her and just let it happen. Right. And that's the other second part of the story. Nobody jumped in. I know it was quick. They couldn't stop him. He just hit her out of the blue, just random rapid attack. But you're sitting next to her, across from her, behind. He leaves. Go help her. Like, I just don't get that. That part.
Although it's interesting, I forget I didn't do a race count on the people. I know there's a black guy sitting beside her, across from her. I think
a lady too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know who was behind it. Was a black woman behind? I can't remember. But maybe, again, there's that race thing coming into play here. They didn't want to, who the fuck knows, right? I can't get in their heads. My instinct, whether it's black, white, brown, green, yellow, whatever the hell, if it's a human being bleeding out in front of me, this shirt's coming off, and my 911. Hey, I've got this thing. This person is, dying on me here.
And it didn't look like it was a large knife. It was like a little tiny pocket knife.
Yeah.
So there would have been a chance, and you've seen this before, where you can grab an artery and you can put your hand over it and you can grip it and you can stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
There's been many stories of people have done that. So yeah, the possibility was there to help her. But no, it was just, I mean, I'd like to see the whole video in its entirely, because not because I want to see her die, but how long? I want to know, how long did she suffer for?
I don't know.
Could somebody have stepped in to help her?
You can kind of piece it together. You got to think that this thing went pretty damn quick. You're talking seconds, not minutes.
Yeah. She died. It sounded like when I was reading on the video, she died. Took quite a bit of time.
I know, but what I'm saying is the attack.
Oh yeah, I already mentioned that. That was rapid. There's nothing you can do about that.
That fucker's out of there, so he's gone right away.
Yeah.
So you're asking how long? Boom, the kill shot is in immediately. He's gone.
Yeah.
Then with his big, white racist talk. It's a gaslighter. The only exception, the media, as a counterpoint to what you're talking about, the media, they want, Blackbird singing "The Dead of Light," "Spread Your Broken Wings, Learn to Fly," Paul McCartney, the race war that Charles Manson was talking about. But the problem here is that it was suppressed by everybody. They didn't want this story going out. Maybe they want their race war, but they want to control the race war. I mean, you're talking about tinfoil, and that this is a story that they couldn't keep the pressure cooker on, because maybe the outrage could spill over, something could happen. Generally, my great expectation is sweet fuck all is going to happen from the population. There is no George Floyd moment here for white people going out, taken to the streets. They don't have that. There's not enough there yet, but we're getting there. Something's happening. Something is going to give.
The feminists could stand up and say it's a man murdering a woman. Like, hey, where are they? It's a there's a whole group of all of the people that have protested against men. You could say, well, it was a man on woman crime. Violence against women. Where are all they? The universities had it for years.
Well, the narrative's already gone because she's a Ukrainian citizen with refugee or some fucking thing. So how come, the people with the Ukrainian flags in their, profiles aren't talking about this, right? Because because it's all Marxist bullshit. It's all commie crap.
Yeah.
And, so we'll see what's going on. By the way, full disclosure, folks, I'm a mixed race person. I'm not fully white like my esteemed colleague here. I'm a quarter Indian, American Indian. But anyway, we got some links here. We got Scoozy on the go. So what I'm saying by that is I'm not running around carrying water for white people, right? I'm just saying, All right, here we go. Strangely, all the clowns with Ukraine flags in their bios are also all silent. This from Donald Trump Jr. George Floyd, 5,897 tweets or posts about this. Trayvon Martin got 1,190. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, 56, New York Times. Irina Zarutska, 0 results when you go looking for her. And a couple of days ago, if you had done a Google search on this lady, Google was returning 0, zilcho.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that was a couple of days ago. Now they can't keep it. It's boiled over. It's the genie's out of the lamp. Yeah. There's no way you're going to be stuffing it back in the bottle. This story is not going away. It's massive.
Well, the president just made it a story too. He just said, "I'm stepping in. You guys aren't going to say it." Well,
you got his DOJ on there. This president is extremely tough on crime. We got gangsters in Chicago talking tough.
I saw that.
Yeah, well, those guys are going to be the first to get rounded up and busted.
They can wear their FAFO shirts.
Yeah, let's grab this one. I put one out called Chicago Cartels, which is kind of an interesting title, or Cartel Chicago. If you can find that, it is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down from the top. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Sue, my wife, who's in here helping bringing the stories out. But I thought the language here is very interesting. Chicago and cartels. What do cartels have to do with Chicago? So we'll learn about this together. It's kind of interesting. FBI Director Kash Patel going to Kash. America is done tolerating poison and violent gangs in our streets, thanks to FBI billionaires whose work shows cartels, their days are numbered.
FBI Illinois.
FBI Illinois. Sorry, I really made a muck of that. Thanks, Sue. Anyway, FBI Illinois, whose work shows cartels, whose days are numbered, right? Under President Trump's mission to make our cities safe again, terror networks are no longer welcome in the USA. Going inside FBI Chicago field office as agents confront drug cartels and violent crimes in the crime-ridden city. So go back. They're confronting cartels, but look at what Patel says. Whose work, FBI Illinois, whose work shows the cartels, their days are numbered, the cartels. So I think that is absolutely fascinating.
Yep.
Mexican cartels are operating in Chicago, Illinois.
So then they'd be terrorists.
Well, MS-13 has heavy gangster influence there too. So
Yeah.
that's
if they're
Central America.
Go in and just can't they just kind of get them?
But
out?
it's big. I think it's bigger than this.
Yeah.
I think it's bigger than this. I think they've recognized that the activities of the gangs are being run. Why they're essentially terrorist cells is because they're being funded. The cartels are being funded by China. They're being funded by Iran. They've got money coming internationally and to cause chaos, including the fentanyl drug trade. So this is a national security issue. It's not just a local issue. Now, Chicago's had a long history of violent crime going back to the days of Prohibition.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of part of their culture. It's part of their history. I mean, gangsterism is a big part of Chicago. But, I mean, now it's beyond that. I mean, it's been for decades a war zone. Weekends, as we said, during Labor Day weekend alone.
Yeah.
Anytime Halloween becomes chaos. Remember, Detroit used to burn on Halloween. And it's the same in Chicago. People just die everywhere. It's like more people would die in a single night in Chicago than Beirut when Beirut was in a full civil war. I mean, it was awful. And yet people just turn a blind eye. Oh, it's just gangs. But this is beyond gangs. The whole political apparatus there is corrupt. And that's the problem. And no doubt that a lot of these gangs are part of their foot soldiers. And I would say are part of the intimidation of voters, the intimidation to keep power and control and keep that machine in place. And that's the thing. There's always been a connection between organized crime and the political side of Chicago politics.
I think your analysis is absolutely brilliant. I couldn't agree more. I think you're absolutely right. And this is why Trump is going after this. Now, I read one post. Somebody said, while everybody had their eyes looking in on Chicago, Trump sent ICE en masse over to Boston. So Boston got hit by the good guys. The White Hats went in there. And make no mistake, this channel firmly supports the president's operations in this regard because it is on the level that Blake is saying. I love that. I think what you said, Blake, is absolutely amazing. These are international cartels. China, the enemies of America. America is being corrupted from within. That's how they're taking it. They realize they can never stormtroop America. America kicked their ass. But what they can do is undermine America from in, with the LGBTQ thing going, all these various movements to undermine the moral fabric of America, to erase confidence, to erode morality in the nation, making it ripe for the pickings, as they say. So there's something to be said for that. And the large scale that Trump's talking about, moving into Boston, Chicago, LA, it's going to happen. And Trump's not saying a matter of, if it's going to happen. He just says, when it happens, it's going to happen. Unavoidable. So, my God, what is going on with our world? There are so many great stories here. Let's turn to our own native Canada. Sue, can you do that thing? I was just astounded when I heard this statistic, the 34% or 37% might be.
Oh, the numbers of people that have been brought 37.
In. 37. Yeah. Okay. Have you got that one there, Sue? All right.
I think it's 36%. Yeah.
All right, Jason James, this is insane. Canada imported 36.5. We'll split the difference, like you say, of its population last 10 years. And that's just what they tracked. They didn't provide the numbers for those who entered illegally because they have no idea. To put this in perspective, 5% would be huge, 10% would be a crisis. 36% is an atomic bomb going off in every major city. No country on earth, not even the US, has the infrastructure necessary to successfully integrate this many people in this such a short amount of time. In other words, highlight that. Just move your mouse over the first line, Sue, and it'll go blue.
Which one?
And that's what they, oh no, go up. I want that number 10. Yeah, 36.5. Just kind of nudge in there. Get rid of Jason. Just kind of nudge it there. Go from years. You know, it's a skill. It's a skill. I'm patient. You be patient. Here, leave it. This is insane. Canada imported 36.5% of its population last 10 years. So almost half the country, Blake, has only been here in Canada for 10 years or less. If half the country is here 10 years or less, how many of them are speaking of English? How many of them know anything about our history? How many of any of those people know our culture and our values, the things that we consider, you know, valuable, like not shitting in fucking Starbucks. Oh, I got a big crap cupboard. Poo-poo's on its way. Where is it? Where's there a Starbucks? I got to dump one on the floor there.
Yeah.
You know, it's heartbreaking, but it's a death knell. And it's obviously, if as a civilian, if I can look in on this, I'm no statistician, though I've taken university level statistics course. But the point is that you don't need to be a Rhodes Scholar to figure out that this is absolutely suicide. And cultural suicide is the end of the country. So, yeah, it's an invasion. It's an invasion when you got 36. Money, again, is across somebody's hands to bring this. Somebody said, do it. It's the collapse of Canada. Whatever you think it was, it's dead. Canada is deader than a fucking doornail. Our elections mean sweet fuck all. We have our elections, Blake. We had for 10 years, we had Justin Trudeau ballpark it. 10 years with Justin Trudeau propped up, unsurvivable by himself in a minority government because he had the NDP to save his ass every time anybody had the guts to voice any concern about the absolute dumpster fire like you got showing there, the state of the union. I mean, absolutely heartbreaking stuff. One more.
Well, Jag. Oh yeah, go ahead.
One more, and then we'll get you in here. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban exposed George Soros' 2015 plan to deliberately import at least 1 million asylum seekers into Europe annually. It's a plan. It was written. It was published. It's known. And so they're working to do the same thing in Europe. Of course, we're watching in Europe. We're seeing where our good friend 4D is, this individual in Manchester. We're seeing all the problems in England with that they're having with the newcomers. And they're coming in, and there's no sign of stopping it. No sign of stopping it.
Well, what's amazing is that you compare the UK to Canada and what's happened in Canada. I believe the UK, when I saw the last numbers, and this is, of course, more impactful if you're in the large cities like London, where you do see the influence, where most people move is to the big urban areas. The newcomers will go there. And some of the obviously other larger cities around the UK, but they're still sitting in that sort of 80+% of the, I would call the indigenous population of the United Kingdom, right? They still have that. Canada is down in the 50% range now. So when you have that massive of change, it'd be no different now than what the original indigenous people of North America went through when Europe started to show up.
Yeah, but hold on. That's a great comment, what you're saying. But let's raise the ante. Keep in mind, based on what we just heard, 36.5% of the entire Canadian population has only got here 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Are you
and not
fucking
even
kidding me?
counting what they're not counting, right? That's the problem. And you know, the point is they're not counting the people that are here that are supposed to be just students. And they've been popping up all of these students, these schools in malls, in whatever building in the back of a warehouse, and they're calling it a school. And this is how they're bringing it in. And I've heard the best explanation in Canada. Of course, this ties to the WEF. It does. It's 100% their plan to prop up those to prop up the banks that were collapsing with that's what it all this whole thing is tied to them 100%. It's about the money because they had a dying boomer population. They saw the population bomb was coming, it wasn't changing, and they needed to do something to bring in more labor to keep the system moving forward. And they didn't care about the cultural side and how that would impact. It was all about the money. And that's why Klaus Schwab says we're heading into an angrier world. They planned it to protect their own asses that they failed to do. They basically collapsed our currencies. They drove up to the point where we're experiencing inflation now. So their answer to that was, well, let's just flood our own countries with low-wage workers from around the world. In Canada's position, let's just get a bunch more of indentured servants here from under the Hudson's Bay Company days to come and take over those slots and can become earners for the system, regardless of the damage it does to the existing society. And that is their philosophy. It is purely cash-oriented. They don't care about the events of what it causes on the ground because they don't live it. These guys all have their mansions in Barbados or in Bahamas or wherever they can go, and the jet set their way around the world away from it in a heartbeat, while the locals are the ones dealing with the trauma on the ground. Again, I've heard some people of North American native descent saying, well, so what? You're now experiencing what we experienced. Well, no, there's a big difference. I didn't see you guys being Native Americans standing there importing millions of people into your area. It was quite the opposite. You experienced a true colonial invasion. You had no choice. You were overwhelmed by numbers.
And technology.
Yeah, you're overwhelmed by those
superior technical society culture conquered an inferior culture technologically.
Exactly. So you weren't standing there with your European base going, hey, we want to import 50 million Europeans to come into our lands in North America. They didn't do that. So this is different. So anybody trying to make that correlation, it is not the same.
Yeah.
This is, as you said, it's self-induced destruction of a society. We're choosing to do that through our government officials. Yet, I don't know if our government officials truly represent us, because the fact is we have questions about the results of those, if we can call it that, those elections. So I think we can say questioning their validity, but we'll still see how those research into this further. You know, Trump is doing it down south. They're looking into it. I think there's more and more information coming out there, and I think we'll find that there's some pretty polluted cesspool around all of these machines and how they're conducted.
I gotta calm myself down. I'm really pissed off about that subway thing, and just the state and the general state of the world right now is just shit. So can you do the Dem scam top of the story, top of the thing?
This will make you feel better.
This is kind of a fun one, Blake. It never ends. But you know what's nice about it? At least they uncovered it. You know, at least it's being revealed. So this is a story that broke. And Sue, I don't know what you're feeling like reading. Do you want to read this?
Yeah, I kind of remember this story. President Trump drops posts about Democrats involved in a $5 billion money laundering scheme using taxpayer dollars. Michigan Democrats have been caught red-handed and they must be held accountable. Now, they've been kind of working on this story for a few weeks now, I think on X. I think I noticed it a while back. This is how you take down these corrupt individuals. You follow the money and cut it off, and that's exactly what the Trump administration is doing. More than 4,000 fake phantom jobs allegedly used to siphon taxpayer dollars into non-existing programs, questionable gender surgery, and dubious arts and culture grants. You're being shown the inside of a broken system that has been abusing American citizens for decades. This all ends now. Examples need to be made. No more talk, no more games.
And this is across the board like that. Same with the crime and the violence. Go ahead, show this clip here. Play the whole thing.
Of more than 4,000.
Because it's only a minute long.
Ohio and Dallas, and here are your top stories.
Democrats in Michigan are caught up in a $5 billion fraud scheme that was siphoning taxpayer dollars. The scheme was uncovered by House Republicans. The accusations, which have sparked outrage, center on the discovery of more than 4,000 fake phantom jobs, allegedly used to siphon taxpayer dollars into non-existent programs, questionable gender surgeries for prisoners, and dubious arts and culture grants. House GOP investigators claim to have identified the thousands of fake job positions created to justify budget allocations that never materialized into actual employment. Critics argue this was a deliberate tactic to funnel public money back to Democrats, bypassing accountability and oversight. This as multiple claims come in over fiscal mismanagement under Democrat control, led by Governor Gretchen Whitmer, with the Michigan state budget ballooning to more than $82 billion. That's the largest in state history.
That's what you need to know. In Dallas, Christina Ohio.
All right. So pretty interesting story. I mean, nobody's surprised. This is going on all the time. Canada, like you say, I mean, we talk about the Ruddles movie, you know, the 1975 thing. Or 78, whatever it was, and they're trying to do a riff on the Beatles, and they show Apple Corps. You know, Apple was losing money left, right, and center, and it shows people. George Harrison himself playing a reporter talking with Michael Palin as the press agent, Derek Taylor. Hey, what's going on? And we're hearing thefts. The thefts, so it's not happening. And meanwhile, you know, everything in behind desks are being hauled out. A stuffed bear gets out, telephones, lamps, plants. Well, everything in the office, if it ain't nailed down, they were stealing it and ripping it off behind them. This is Canada. You're saying it's kind of a controlled demolition that's happening with this country by the Carney administration. Very complex, but this kind of corruption, right? We're seeing it. God, it's everywhere. And I forget, it was something like 77 scandals were part and parcel of the Trudeau regime.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know,
billions and billions of dollars unaccounted for, and nobody to hold them to account.
Yeah.
A few committee conversations. You think the police would get involved? No, because the RCMP is a paramilitary force run out of the Prime Minister's office. So yeah, we call this system that you're describing as a kleptocracy. It is a group of thieves robbing it blind now. When you know your society is collapsing is when the government people themselves are robbing it blind and disappearing with cash. When you hear that Zelensky is moving $50 million a month to accounts in the UAE, all that money is being sent from the West is just another backdoor for storing cash somewhere else. The point is, this cash actually may be worthless. I think what's happening is there's a transference. They're moving capital and going to take their time to move it into a whole new currency system, which falls into our biblical story of, you know, you will not be able to buy, sell, or trade without that mark currency. That's where this is heading, because everybody's going to owe so much money everywhere. You'll become enslaved to that mark. You'll have no choice. That's basically it. That's how they're designing this. You'll own nothing and be happy.
Yeah, it's horrific. Okay, we got another story. Now, what another piece of good news, Blake, is that England, we got our friend 4D here. England is under tremendous strain right now. Let me write this for him. UK is under tremendous strain. I'm not the world's fastest typer. UK is under tremendous strain, but so is France. Sue, do you want to grab our French story? The French government. The French government apparently has collapsed, and tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow, they're scheduling a national strike. Everything, the country is grinding to a halt tomorrow. But really interesting to see what's going on there. This came from General Mike Flynn, an account possibly worth following. He's an interesting former NSA head of the NSA. I think he was. The natives are getting restless all over the world. Boy, are they ever. Are they ever. That is so true. Globalists are losing their grip, and rightly so. They are attempting to destroy segments of societies and cultures and then make them in their own evil image. Sorry, Klaus Schwab, not today. Breaking French patriots announced massive nationwide strike on September 10th, demanding new elections after Macron's government has collapsed. France belongs to the French, out with Macron. So really interesting. We'll let the visuals flow there. Here's the thing. Apparently, this was triggered by Macron's own egocentric. These freaking idiots are so blind. He said, okay, you want a piece of me? Let's do a no confidence vote. So he initiated a non-confidence vote on himself, assured that it would fail completely, and then he would be able to brag and go, I'm loved by the people. It failed. They turned on him, and the French government, as a result, has collapsed. Now they're calling on Macron himself. Of course, they've had riots there for about 2, 3, 4 years straight. You know, they're always out there blowing the hell out of something. You know, you've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
What's crystal ball this for me? What do you think's going to happen?
They'll just replace them with one of their guys again. That will appear again. Well, like what we see with Trump, of course, is somebody I think is 100% legitimate in his views. But what we have in Canada and Europe is that you'll have politicians that will sound, because they know it's the popular opinion, they'll speak in the popular opinion, like Mr. Starmer in England, starts switching his views to sound like he's on your side, but they don't ever enact those policies. It's a stall tactic. So they'll just install some other WF goon to basically stall things out, make the appearance going to do something.
That's if they win. That's if they win the election, though, right?
Well, it depends on, who their leader is. I mean, I don't know. I think how many political parties make up the French parliament.
Apparently, Marine Le Pen she's out there up front now. She's under investigation right now, just like the same playbook they did with Trump.
Yeah. And she's Bolsonaro in Brazil, and they went after everybody in all these.
This is how they do it. This is, the game plan is global. It's a global, it's like everybody's playing the same game. It's like the World Cup of politics. Everybody knows the rules and how
Every
to break
square is a chess piece, right?
It's unbelievable. So anyway, Le Pen was out there calling for an election immediately. So she's saying we need an election. So does she have a snowball's chance in hell of ever getting elected in this potboiler called France?
She might have her own fight moment. These people, there are psychos. They'll hold power to the point of death. We saw in Germany. Oh, God forbid! Like, look at Germany. All the AfD got people that just suddenly died, all within close proximity of each other.
Yeah, seven apparently. The number I heard the number was 7.
Yeah, and these were candidates running. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's the thing. So, I mean, Europe they have a history. We know how ancient Rome used to, the Roman Empire. I mean, it's kind of like we're watching the rise. Maybe it's biblical, the rise of the Roman Empire, where this is the kind of stuff that was happening behind the back, backstabbers, leaders being assassinated, generals fighting generals. This is that kind of chaos we're seeing in the world, where the Roman Empire is currently changing its guard, let's just say. But what I would be nervous about is who they bring into power. I will hope a Le Pen might win, bring a Trump version in France, which would be a great ally for Trump, because he's got an ally in Italy in the same viewpoint. And I think we might see some sanity come back.
Well, we just saw Viktor Orban there. So Hungary is also on board with Trump, and Poland's on board with Trump now. So he's got his people. And the other guy, Milei or whatever, down in Argentina.
Javier Milei,
Trump. Okay.
And maybe McGregor.
This is talk about democracy. Here's the old regime trying to hold on for all they're worth, Blake. Shame on Simon Harris for tyrannically blocking the will of the people of Ireland. Conor McGregor for president to save Ireland. This is Elon Musk speaking out. Sue, do you want to read Cillian's comment? Breaking
Ireland's Deputy Prime Minister Simon Harris has ordered his party to block independent candidates, including frontrunner Conor McGregor, from running for president of Ireland. Of course, Conor McGregor is the favorite to win. This is completely undemocratic. The Irish people cannot stand for this. They are petrified Conor would win. Simon Harris demands all Fine Gael councillors block independent presidential candidate nominations. This is nuts.
All right, so you've got the establishment absolutely shaking in their boots because that's going to rattle your walls. The old world's rapidly fading.
Wasn't Ireland still technically part of EU? Aren't they still part of the EU?
Southern Ireland, or the Republic of Ireland. The Republic's part of EU.
Yeah, exactly. So there's your culprits there and behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, not doing anybody any favors, right? And showing the octopus strands. This is like frickin' Spectre from James Bond.
It is. That's exactly what you like. You look at their
characters. You, Spectre. Who is you? Number 2.
And they couldn't pick the most. I mean, in reality, have a Klaus Schwab character with his language and his accent. It's like right out of Austin Powers.
I'm going to destroy you, Bond. You will not be able to survive.
I wonder if they'll have Fat Bastard in Scotland.
He's a henchman. Yeah, absolutely nuts out there. Speaking of the outrage, here's England. God help England.
Yeah.
A UK judge wishes convicted Al-Qaeda terrorist who killed 52 people in London bus bombings all the best as he prepares to walk free in Britain. I had the bad weekend. Sir Robert J. sympathized with Al-Qaeda terrorist Haroon Aswat. Aswat? Yes. Will be released from the hospital without ankle tag monitoring because of a loophole which forbid checks on psychiatric patients. Despite police fears, he remains a threat. What even is the United? Look at this fucker. The first guy you want him to go after, I can't even say it on YouTube, but you know what I mean? It's just, they are all blackmailed. Johnny Mnemonic with the comment, words fail me. So the guy kills 20 people. And this guy, have a great day.
52. He did
52 people.
He bombed the London bus.
Yeah, I remember that with a few years back.
How is he even on the streets? How can he even ever get out?
I don't know, man. It's just
if he's of sound mind now he should be convicted for the rest of his life.
Well,
I mean, this is the insanity of our judicial system is completely collapsed because they've been appointed by insaniacs that have planned this destruction of our civil society. This is all planned. Like, we can't sit there and wonder where is it all gone. But again, it's been planned. These central planners have organized this with their foreign influence to break it down. But here's the scary part. What is the ultimate response to this when it does, the chips all fall, which we have to stand up against from happening? Is we don't want to see the rise of a fascist authoritarian police state to even go after that. We just want the law to focus in on the law, not create, as said that knee-jerk political action that created the Adolf Hitlers in the world, because that's the opposite end of what ends up when it goes too far. What we need the people who are organized this crap behind bars and face justice. Like, we need.
I don't see it in Canada. I don't see it happening.
No, Canada's done. Canada's a failed state, and no matter what of our friends and people and family members that say, "Oh no, Canada's still going to be," no, Canada is done. It can't afford to exist.
I really do.
And unless there's just too many people to try and evict, if you had to evict them from the country. We don't have enough people to put the force of that kind of power behind them. But who does?
Yeah.
The United States, right? The United States looks at, okay, Canada, you've lost control of your country. we have no choice but to come in and protect our interests of not having an Al Qaeda network being organized in Canada, right?
Yeah.
And we're no longer going to accept Canada being a jump off point for the WF to create their lines on the borders of the United States.
Well,
And
America's not going to allow it. U.S. Trump won't allow it. Put it that way.
Well, the pressure's on there. I still believe Carney's part of that plan. I think he's guiding Canada into that landing, because the point is that he comes across as a liberal because he has to. But the point is our European Western culture everywhere, Australia, everywhere is under attack right now. And, hopefully we'll win, right? We'll see that. I mean, the fact that the judges are letting people out on the streets is a sign. The fact that they've allowed fentanyl to go legal, and our city streets look like a scene out of a dystopian zombie world. This is, again, it's planned. Those drugs get here easily, not difficult, easily. And this is
a kind of heavy show. So what I want to do is lighten the mood a bit, because something came out of Israel or nearby Israel. It just made me laugh. This is Greta Thunberg. Okay, so you want to?
I'm already laughing.
Yeah, you've seen this, no doubt.
I've seen it. We've been hit.
Okay, so apparently the story goes that Greta Thunberg and her loyal Antifada types, or whatever they are on their way to help Gaza or something, free the Gazans, help Palestine, free Palestine. But they were attacked by a drone attack from Israel. Israel is attacked with a drone. Apparently, they may have spoken too soon. Here we go. Okay, Sue, do you want to read this one?
Greta's flotilla caught fire because they didn't know how to use a flare properly. They then blamed it on a Zionist drone. Well, the drone is a Zionist drone, which is probably bad grammar right there, and forced the Tunisian Coast Guard to declare them liars in public. Everything about these charlatans is fake and staged.
Okay, I think we got some footage. Yeah, play the tag here. Hello.
Let's put on a production. It's like a Monty Python skit.
We've been hit.
We got hit by fireworks.
Fucking liberals, man. I mean, anyway, words fail me. But anyway, the big story went out that they apparently were under drone fire, but then there's were
they attempting the Greta false flag to try and build sympathy? I mean, that's what it seems like to me. She had her own Reichstag moment there.
Is absolutely insane. 40, yeah, maybe the guy, the British government's all mad trying to build a bridge or build a wedge between us. In the paper today, tales of war and of hate. You turn right over to the TV page. Hey now, don't dream it's over. All right.
How about a little fun story here for more humor?
Sure, do it.
At the bottom there, Sue, I got a couple links. The first one is I titled Peak Stupid from Canada's Regime Media.
All right.
This will get you a laugh. And then the one up above it, if we could hit that one before we go, that's good too.
Yeah, we'll do both. Yeah. It's heavy news day. The murder of the girl was just too much for me.
It's horrible. Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Okay. What read Blake, read the headline here, buddy.
Global warming linked to consumption of sugary drinks, ice cream in new research.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
If you can read the comments below, it is a ratioed gong
Okay,
show.
well, first of all, our good friend Blake McKenzie saying, Sue, do you want to read Blake?
Well, Blake should read Blake.
No, you read Blake for him, and then he'll go on and talk about it.
People with lower incomes or less education tend to be the most affected. That's in quotation marks. Blake says, correction. This is called inflation from central bankers like Carney, who print money endlessly, devaluing currencies and causing prices to increase, not climate change. Regime media continues to hit new information. Continues to hit new lows for the low information voter. Can't wait until all the USAID money dries up.
Boy, oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Says, breaking, Martin Carney has just announced a new tax on ice cream and soft drinks as an effort to fight climate change.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to. I believe that's what it's going to turn into.
I'm going to, let's make, I don't know if I'm following Doctor, but let's see. John Young, that was stupid shit, people. Jesus. Okay, so yeah, the comments are pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Blake, take it on. So climate change is apparently ice cream is causing the planet to blow up.
Well, when you read it, it's a research group that put this out that's completely unknown. That's why I kind of made the point that can hardly wait till the USAID funding finally dries up, because I'm sure there's pockets of it out there, because that was a study that was done in 2019. Apparently they're drumming up from nowhere. But yeah, again, comes out of this stupid, distractive crap that the regime media keeps putting out, that nobody cares. Nobody believes you anymore. And when you read the comments, like X is the biggest news platform on earth now. That's where you go for it. And the people are standing up to it and hammering the crap out of it.
Yeah, they get ratioed to hell and back.
I mean, CBC, I think in some cases, I don't know if they're allowed to turn off comments. They do on YouTube. You'll notice they shut off all the comments on YouTube because they know they'll get ratioed there, which goes to the next point, which is, again, this kind of ridiculousness, the absurdity that it's getting to in their stories. But here, the next story on the private chat down there, if you can click on it, which is Vancouver council member clown show. I think this is, again, we're seeing the last vestiges of these holdout regions that are out here, but she is just getting hammered. She's a Vancouver city councilor. So go ahead and read it if you want.
Okay, Sue, do you want to read this one?
I support a democratically elected park board. Part of democracy is ensuring that the government's decisions match the city's values. Vancouver is a city for all its people, trans people included. I'm calling on the park board to rethink this event and make this right.
And that's what she wants to ban. She wants to cancel Harry Potter, a Forbidden Forest experience.
Forbidden Forest experience coming this fall
for kids. Oh my God. Anyways, go down below and read the comments. She is just getting hammered.
Okay, there's Blake in there. He's got to go.
Welcome to the continuing series of Clown World. Filmed entirely on location in Vancouver, BC. It is a reality show where clowns do their best to out-clown each other. Best part is, you, the viewer, get to vote for the best clown by election day.
There's one down there where somebody put, just you could go through all this. I've never, like, some of these politicians, I don't know how they still can look themselves in the mirror and go, I'm real. I'm a real person. They're not real. They're just absolutely insane. But there's so much comedy here. I mean,
hold on. I mean, first of all, the context, right? What the fuck does that have
to do with J.K. Rowling? J.K. Rowling, right? Because she is standing up against certain aspects of to protect children. She's protect women in sports and things like that. And the radicalized trans activist side, or let's just say some of them aren't even trans, they're just liberal activists. Are against her for standing up for women.
Use the trans thing because it is a reality, and they are a lobby, a group or whatever. There's the trans thing is a thing, and politically. So
Exactly. So she stood up. She's been standing up against it. She gets a lot of flack. And here is a Harry Potter event for kids in the park that she wants canceled because she's a millennial. She's not even a local. She's an import too. She's another import, by the way.
So the whole idea here is that because it's Harry Potter and because it's J.K. Rowling, it's not, trans kids won't want to feel welcome at the Heritage Show. So we got to have the gay frog, Lippy the Leaper, the gay frog. That you dress them up in the dress of your choosing. There's all sorts of activities for the trans children. What's weird? Somebody put out a graph on millennials, Gen X, the boomers, about the percentage of trans people in each generation. And it's basically kind of gone up. And then the latest one, the latest Gen Z kids are like just a skyrocket.
Yeah.
It almost correlates with the amount of newcomers coming into Canada when you watch it go, and then the number through the roof. I mean, it never seems to end, Blake.
Well, and I think the problem with it is that it's become it's been propagandized as a form of rebellion, right? So instead of dressing up and being a punk rocker like in the early 80s or something like that and getting your mohawk to piss your parents off, well, I'm just going to change my gender. And I think that's the problem. It's not legitimate. It's essentially, it's a movement to be rebellious. But in this case, this doesn't, if young kids, and I'm talking kids and teenagers, are rebelling and going this direction and they're having the surgery and all that stuff, there's no going back. It's not removing the pin from your nose like the punk rockers used to do, or let your hair grow back. Or surviving with a couple embarrassing tattoos you might have gotten. But other than that, you could survive that. But this is a bigger change. This is catastrophically changes somebody's body.
Oh, yeah.
Who may not actually wanted to do it in the end. It was just kind of, there was trendy. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm part of the club.
Well, I think that's why the statistical variable, like we're seeing a percent, and I think it's something like 7% of the American population now identify as being gay, which is like at an all-time high, or gender, fluid or whatever.
Let's end on a really cool positive.
Oh, gay is passé now. Now it's gender fluid.
Fluid is
be whatever you want to be at any moment, right?
Sure,
today I'm this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go out on a light note here for Okay, what do we got here? Okay.
So this guy here has a school for boys in, I think, I'm trying to remember where it is, it's Chicago or something. Anyway, he says, some say our school's chasing white applause for telling the truth. Truth is, many boys can't even read a full book. Instead of fixing that, folks scream about white supremacy and victimhood. Why tear down kids for learning? Literacy is freedom. Victimhood is slavery.
Yeah.
He is trying to give these guys a type of mentorship that they just can't find elsewhere. And it's super, super cool.
Okay.
So I'm a follower.
Play the tape. Make it big and play
You can't read, and ain't enough y'all gonna be able to do but go to jail. Real simple. Understand?
Sure.
We all good? Black as the pit from pole to pole.
Black as the pit from pole to pole.
I think whatever gods may be.
I think whatever gods may be.
For my unconquerable soul.
For my unconquerable soul.
Write the word unconquerable. You ain't say nothing. I have not winced nor cried aloud.
I have not winced nor cried aloud.
Under the bludgeonings of chance.
Under the bludgeonings of chance.
My head is bloody but unbowed.
My head is bloody but unbowed.
Write down circumstance.
Yeah. He's got a school for underprivileged boys of any color, basically.
Yeah.
He's like an alternative school, like when we were around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's to serve with love. You need a good teacher, right?
But people are kind of going against him, saying he's like, he's not teaching them racial awareness and so on. He's just teaching them how to be great kids and to be, great adults. So
yeah.
Sadly, that gets put down by the left.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, instead of heralded, really.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just kind of great to see there's a lot of good in the world. You know, we see a lot of the horror, and we kind of focus on a lot of the negative here because we need to in order to combat it. There's the problem. Fix it. Let's identify it, isolate it, correct it, fix it, and get it better going. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have a Patreon. You can support my efforts. $5 a month. It's more of a musical thing. It's not a political thing per se, although, you know, occasionally we'll talk a little politics, nothing too major. Anyway, there's the link for it. You can support us there. Blake and I are going to be back on Friday because, you know, every day there's stories breaking. But this story about the girl really does seem to be lightning in a bottle here. Something's going to give, and we just have to see what it's going to be. Blake, thank you as always for being here. Thumbs up the program, folks, who's still here, and subscribe if you like. Take care, everybody.